So these are just little things that have been going on that, because they managed to stay out of the limelight and they're mainly focused on their fashion stuff. They're really not interested in anything else, it seems like.
So you're going to say they're really not interesting?
Kind of that as well.
What a good topic for a podcast. They're just kind of not interesting.
Like Mary-Kate is like a proper horse girl now. She competes.
Really?
Yeah.
What's Ashley doing though?
I don't have any other information about Ashley.
Because she's forgotten.
I feel so bad for Ashley, but also it's
not
fine.
Really. It's hard to feel bad for like billionaires.
Also, the people they date, and we're going to get onto Mary-Kate's marriage, but they're just like rumored to date the Sachs brothers, or they're just dating all these like middle-aged billionaires as well. And you're like, right, okay, well, you're comfortably capitalist now. You've made your money. You're just gonna live with a fairly boring life. So they don't have any social media, which again apparently is the most interesting about them. They didn't come back for the Fuller House reboot in 2016 on Netflix.
Like, again, John Stamos was, like, complaining about, like, making shady comments about them not coming back. And I was like, you exploited children. Like, you really expected them to then be like, yeah, we'd love to come back after they, like, spend their childhood being exploited. No, thank you.
And so apparently Ashley might be engaged to this artist, but I don't remember his name. I didn't really pay that much attention. No one's that bothered.
That Ashley.
Mary-Kate had been married to the half-brother of the former disgraced French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, Olivier Sarkozy.
Why is he disgraced?
Because I think he was embezzling or something. He was like a dodgy guy anyway.
He's the sort of guy you want to be related to. I'd choose to marry into that family.
It just sat, and then he had children, so she became a stepmom in 2015. He is like 20 years older than her, maybe? Something like that. Even
like, this is going to be really mean, but like, say I came onto this podcast and I was like, guys, I'm dating Paul Rudd. You'd be like, that is understandable. It's Paul Rudd. Yes, he's like 50, but he looks as though he's like 30, so that's okay. This man looks old, and he is like, he's not Paul Rudd. So,
and she's so much smaller than him. It just looks freaky in the pictures. I don't like.
They're very small people.
They're tiny. I reckon they're about like 5'4", 5'2".
Smaller, because I saw pictures of them and Elizabeth, their sister, who is taller than them, and she looks really tall compared to them. And I was thinking,
she's not.
Oh, she must be really tall. She's like 5'4", so they must be like 5 foot, 5'2", maybe.
Yeah, and then you see them on red carpets, and they're just like little crawling, like they're not.
Like they need some protein.
So she married him, and all people could talk about was how bizarre their wedding was, but it was private, so there wasn't like that much information.
Had bowls of cigarettes.
Yeah, that was one of the.
How do you think they were displayed?
I think it was like they had like a little Bunsen burner thing in the middle. So they were all...
Do you think it was like a fondue style thing where you dip the cigarette in the fire?
No, like, you know, in cars, when in the old cars they used to have cigarette lighter. I think it was like that in the middle of the bowl, and then they had cigarettes lining it with like the ends pointing out of the bowl.
It smelled really bad as a wedding.
Imagine.
I reckon her dress was like stained.
Oh yeah, and like nicotine stains. No. Why would that be a thing? Why would that be like... I know they have a nicotine
like your extended family coming to your wedding, like not just your parents who probably would support you through this maybe, but like your extended family, like your grandparents are there and you're handing around like cigarettes. My granny would be so confused. She'd be like, what is this? Where am I?
Very odd, but yeah. So this early last year she got an emergency divorce.
He's struggling there.
I can't breathe. Divorce. She got an emergency divorce after she tried to file for a divorce in April 2020, but it was postponed because of COVID. So
what does it mean if it's an emergency divorce? Like you just get it done?
Well, yeah, it gets kind of rushed through, and it doesn't have to. They don't do the whole like negotiation thing that they used to do, because he terminated their lease on the apartment they shared and she couldn't move out because of COVID. So he was trying to force her out of the apartment when it was like illegal, basically. And then she was like, I need an extension to get my stuff out. And he didn't, he ghosted her. So apparently that's how...
This is a man in his 50s. Paul Rudd would never do this to me.
What I learned about Paul Rudd this week is that he might be the product of incest. And I feel like... Did you not know this? His parents are second cousins.
I'd risk it though. It would have to be something I would just have to. I mean, me and Paul Rudd we're not gonna procreate at this point, so like.
Alright, let me just Paul Rudd incest. Let me just fact check myself.
Okay, for a weekend with Paul Rudd, I'd be okay with it.
Are Paul Rudd's parents related? For a week they've been calling him incest baby.